whatever happens here in the presidential election, and I hope you do vote for Senator Obama, you know, I just completed my 20th event, and I am a piker compared to his number one surrogate, Hillary, who's done 65 events. Well, we're going to win that. Now the question is, let me just say this, it's very important that you understand that the fundamental difference here and in 1992 is this. In 1992, I was elected because the economy was in the ditch, and people said, the people there are clueless, and we're in touch, and this Clinton guy looks like he's got half good sense. I think we'll give him a chance to go. And it wasn't much more complicated than that. In other words, there was no perception on the swing voters' part that the problems with the economy in 1992 were not simply the result of a lack of concentration or neglect or being out of touch. They were the consequence of a philosophy, a set of policies, a party ideology that led inevitably to what people didn't like. So that in 2000, when now President Bush came along with the most brilliant political slogan in modern times, compassionate conservatism, which was a way of saying, hey, I'll give you everything Bill Clinton did, with a smaller government and a bigger tax cut. Wouldn't you like that? And enough people liked it to get him into the Supreme Court where he won 5-4. There is a difference now, and I want you to listen to me. That's what makes this Senate seat so important. What is the difference now? President Bush got an example of that old adage that life's greatest curse can be answered prayers. And you better be careful what you ask for, and you might get it. He had a Congress that agreed with him completely philosophically. So for the first time since the Republican Party was taken over by its right wing in the mid-70s, for the first time we actually got to see what would happen to the country if they were able to give us the whole dose of what they had been advocating for 30 years. And we didn't like it very much. Right? And the consequences have been awful, and that has now predetermined the outcome of the national race, but not the Senate races. Here's why that's important. We have to have a United States Senate committed to a new economic direction for America, to energy independence for America based on homegrown clean energy and energy efficiency, to doing something about the health care crisis in America, to opening up the doors to college education for everybody. We got to have that. Because now I hope every American knows something I found out to my chagrin that almost no American knew in the 1990s, which is that the only thing you can always pass with a majority in the Congress is a budget. And any other bill can be defeated in the United States Senate by 41 senators. Since it is generally understood now that the incumbent senator won his race with one of the most intellectually dishonest and underhanded campaigns. Listen to me. The other Republicans in the Senate are going to be looking to see what you do. And so if you send them back, they'll say, we still got that base intact, they missed what happened. And we can just go on and shut the new president down anytime we please. And we'll give gridlock back to Washington. We'll make people mad because nothing will happen. We'll dash everybody's hopes, and we won't have change. If, on the other hand, Georgia says, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. If you say, look, we got a guy here who's really our kind of guy. Who actually did things to help ordinary people for nearly 20 years in the legislature. Who actually ran a government agency with incredible competence and compassion. Who was actually back in the Stone Age of the 1970s when I was Attorney General and my wife was the board chair of the Legal Services Corporation. He was a legal services lawyer giving legal help to poor people. important. And only look back one more time briefly. The next president has to fix the financial system, get the economy going, and restore America's standing as the leading force for peace and freedom in the world. Yes, we have to disengage and bring our troops home from Iraq, but that's not all we have to do. We got to take care of the veterans, rebuild the military, and see after the genuine national security interests of America. Now keep in mind, my family is from New York. Okay, wait a minute. We were there. My daughter was in Lower Manhattan on 9/11. I feel a special bile about what happened 6 years ago. I know something about Homeland Security. Read the 9/11 Commission report and they will tell you what I spent 8 years doing trying to protect you. Now here's what really happened that brings Jim Martin to the brink of this victory. 6 years ago, Karl Rove, who was a genius about politics, was looking at the numbers and he said, oh my goodness, we haven't even been here 2 years and already the American people know we've gone too far to the right, and in spite of 9/11, they are inclined to send more Democrats to the Senate and House to try to slow us up. All the surveys showed it. Independent voters leading up to that election, by a margin of 24%, thought the country would be better off if there were more Democrats in the Congress to check the Bush administration in 2002. So he said, other things being equal, they're going to beat our brains out. Now, what can I do to make other things not equal? This is what happened. So, all of a sudden, they discovered that there was a Homeland Security bill that had been languishing in the Senate that Joe Lieberman, a Democratic senator, had been pushing for months. Now, wait, this is important. You need to remember what happened because the Senate's responsibility for national security is important. You make Jim Martin a senator, he may be running on domestic issues, he's going to vote on the national security of this country. And so, remember, here's what happened. So they cynically said, we're going to be for this bill we have opposed violently for 8 months. We are going to put in this bill a poison pill that makes it almost impossible for any self-respecting Democrat to vote for. That is, we are going to strip the federal job rights from over 150,000 public servants who have no access to confidential information or technology. And then we are going to say that anybody who's not for the bill we were against yesterday is a traitor. It was a cynical, cold-blooded attempt to stop you from sending more Democrats to slow them down. Now, it succeeded. And that's one of the reasons they're going to take the whipping they're going to take on November 4th because we got